So let me spend some time on innovation. If we're going to succeed in any region of the United States today in the global economy, particularly as other parts of the world, now China, Asia, India, are moving forward in the same domain, we have to put a premium on innovation across all sectors. And innovation is, in fact, the key to success. It's really about continuous reinvention, and it's about keeping up with the pace of change. Because we have to compete based on productivity. We're not going to compete on low cost. Because I can tell you, China again, India, Asia, other countries can beat us on low cost. So if we're going to actually do well, we have to keep moving up the productivity scale. Productivity itself is the basis for prosperity. And one of the reasons why this conference has touched on some of the critical ingredients of productivity, and we know what they are: education and skills, the health of the workforce, the quality of our community are all ingredients to having a more productive society and a more productive economy. So this is really the key. Now, the innovative economy is about productivity increases that's due to the application of technologies across many industries. Now, productivity increases prosperity and opportunity. Now, coming from Silicon Valley, and I've lived there for 20 years, sometimes this gets confused. People think it's about high tech. I don't think so. It's about the application of technology and new ideas to every industry. And it really is about making sure that everyone is included in the innovative economy because they understand the new rules. Now, there's an economist at Stanford, Paul Romer, that's gotten quite a bit of attention around something called the New Growth Theory. And if you go to the Google, my next door neighbor in Mountain View, just Google it and look at Paul Romer's work. It's quite interesting. He basically says the critical factor in innovation are ideas. Ideas are the primary source of economic growth. In fact, he uses, now he will probably win a Nobel Prize, but he does this in mathematical terms, but in English, he basically describes it in cooking language. He says recipes, which he calls new ideas, combine ingredients, resources, in new and different ways to yield valuable economic results. Now think about it. Well, let's use a technology example like semiconductor industry. What is that? If you look at the semiconductors that are the basis of all the electronics that we use today, we use ideas, intellectual property, to combine one of the most available ingredients in the world, silicon, which is sand. So it's not the ingredients that matter, it's the idea. The same thing with many software is basically the idea. So the more ideas that you can develop and apply to existing ingredients to rearrange them to create innovation is how you create economic wealth. Our economy has fundamentally shifted from what I would call vertical integration, organized around large firms competing on scale, hierarchical relationships, more isolated from each other, focused on stability. And using the auto industry for a second, when Henry Ford, you had the old idea that the iron ore would come in one door and at the other end would come out a car, and you could have any color you wanted as long as it was black. That was the integrated model of the old auto industry. Well, today it doesn't work that way. What we're seeing is that we have increasingly specialization, flexible specialization. The growth is occurring in medium and small size firms that are learning how to compete by connecting to each other in networks, and the whole emphasis is on change. So how do we move to this new innovative networked economy using tools, technology, but it's more than tools. It's actually about managing ourselves in different ways. It's going to be at a smaller scale. Now I think that it can occur in every industry. This is where I think it can apply here in Kentucky and every other region that we've worked in. Agriculture could become more innovative. In the northwestern part of the United States, forest products becoming more innovative. Manufacturing itself, we don't have to give up manufacturing. We just have to make sure that manufacturing is based on more flexible manufacturing, using the internet to reach customers more effectively. And some of the most advanced manufacturing in the world is happening here in Kentucky when you go visit, for instance, a Toyota facility. So we can compete if we learn how to compete based on innovation. The same with creative services. And you're going to actually hear later about arts. I think one of the areas that we're going to see more and more opportunity is using creative ideas and art and culture to become a business. For instance, crafts, and other activities. That's an area that we can be good at by applying our knowledge and our experience and making things more exciting. So I think all industries can become more innovative. So as the economy evolves, we have to have a new framework for economic development. And this framework has got to be based on innovation across all industries within every region. Now, states and regions can do several things. They can build their fundamental assets. Again, education is critical, technology, but they have to connect those assets more effectively in networks, collaboration. They need to create a culture of innovation across all industries and promote a quality of life so that people want to live in a place, because people and ideas are the critical factor in innovation. So all those things can be done. You can shape them. In the past, economic development was based on things that were given to you. For instance, if you were next to a river or you had next to a natural resource, now you can actually create the ingredients that are necessary for innovation. So if the innovative economy is important, what is its connection to the livable community? Well, economic regions are critical, quality of life within regions are critical, vital centers and great places to live and work. People want to live in good places, that's what attracts people. But here's the interesting thing that we've discovered, that innovation is actually a social process. It actually doesn't occur, from R&D to development. It's based on people coming together with good ideas, creating things. It's really about group creativity. And this is an interesting thing that we've discovered. It's not just something that happens in a laboratory. Ideas occur because people interact with each other. There's different types of knowledge. There's explicit knowledge. Again, you can go on the internet and Google something and you can get data, but it's not the same. That's know what. What really matters is know how to use the knowledge, and know-how comes from this interaction, people learning from each other. Networks are critical for the free flow of ideas, and we're seeing increasingly both collaboration and competition at the same time. And innovation itself is place-based. The most innovative work occurs face-to-face through exchange within teams. Now again, people get confused about this. They say, well, we have the internet and we can sort of send information around all over the world. That's great. But how often do people want to interact with somebody that they don't know? They really want to know and get to know somebody. And I think one of the slides that Mike put up this morning, trust. This work that Francis Fukuyama did is so important. How do you build trust with people so that you actually want to work with them, that handshake? And that's where geographic clustering comes in. The clustering of ideas, information, and companies in a single place. That really is where innovation occurs from. So creative heart and soul of an economy is tied to place. Place matters. The fact that Kentucky ranks so high on trust is actually something to build on. How do your communities come together to build innovation around a set of industries, whatever the industries are? So the innovative economy values quality of life more than the old economy because it values people, not just materials. And livability concerns have become important to economic change. People are critical for innovation. People want to live in innovative and creative places. In the innovative economy, companies and people want to be where the action is, so creativity is important. So one of the reasons why people are concerned and interested in creating vital centers, more livable spaces, is because that's where they want to do their work. And so again, mixed use, downtown centers and all the rest are really important because because companies can be smaller now, they're not part of these large scale operations, you can do your work virtually anywhere in that sense of being small and being part of a small community. Today's workforce is more diverse, and we want to have people who can be involved over a longer period of time. And community design is very important in terms of encouraging, again, diverse work patterns, living patterns that characterize this new economy. A lot of the people that operate in this innovative, creative economy value the environment. They want to be in places that have good quality of life, good quality assets, natural environment. And so the potential here is trying to understand how environmental preservation is important in terms of attracting and holding on to creative people. This creates opportunities for new alliances. Where we go, we're seeing all kinds of interesting alliances now between business and environmental groups because they're beginning to understand the importance of the environment for holding on to creative, innovative people.